95.5 KLOS and KLOS HD1, Los Angeles.
I'm so excited for this. It is another takeover. And ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by a man who is the driving force behind so many bands that you hear on KLOS all the time. Bands like Free or The Firm, The Law, of course, Bad Company. One of Rolling Stone magazine's 100 greatest singers of all time. One of the most influential singers of all time, a man sometimes known as just The Voice. That's a great nickname. Paul Rodgers is here, ladies and gentlemen. With Make sure I got you up there. There we go.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Derek. Thanks for having me on the show. Fantastic.
We appreciate it, man. Is it, by the way, when you have, is a nickname like The Voice one that you embrace, or do you go, oh, come on, man?
Well, it's. I'm sure it's meant as a compliment, and it's really very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly.
It's hard to cozy up too much to something like that, you know.
Well,
your head
yeah,
just goes.
I sort of think. No, it's good. It's fine.
All right, Paul has a new album, The Royal Sessions, dedicated to Memphis soul and blues. You recorded it in one of the real Stack studios, right?
Yeah, we recorded it in the Royal Studios, and it was unbelievable. The vibe was just fantastic. The musicians were so cool.
How long has that kind of affair with Memphis blues and soul been going on for you? And how deep is it? Is that still the music you listen to most now?
Yeah. I mean, having rediscovered vinyl recently, because I kind of got away from it. You know, I put my collection away and got rid of my the deck. But going back to, we recorded everything in analog. And right through to the very end, the very last stage of it, we put it onto digital, but it is available on vinyl as well. So my love affair with soul and music, Otis Redding, and all the Stax label starts when I was about 13. And that's what really kicked it off for me. Got me songwriting, got me singing, and was really the power, the driving inspiration behind all the bands. Yeah.
Now we're going to play the first track on the CD here in a second. I Thank You. A lot of our listeners may know the ZZ Top version of that song, but tell us what attracted you to the original.
Well, you know what? I haven't even heard the ZZ Top one yet, so I can't really comment on that one. But the version that I listened to and the kind of blueprint for the song was Sam and Dave's version. And I know I'm a good friend of Sam Moore. He comes up and jams with us every now and again, and he's unbelievable. He lights up the stage when he comes on. So that was our blueprint for the song, and we launched into it, and away we went.
That is Paul Rodgers, and I Thank You from the Royal Sessions, which came out on Tuesday, correct?
Yes, that is very correct, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it came out in the US on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's a different release dates throughout the world. In Japan, it was different.
Records in England come out on Monday or something like that, isn't it? Something like
Yep.
I never really understood the difference between those things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wherever it's gone out, though, I mean, it's gone out internationally, and it's been really well received. We're so pleased with the response. It's been great.
We were just talking while the record was playing, just about how well it's produced, and I'm not just saying that because the guy that produced it's in the room.
With a gun. No, sorry.
Really,
production, man.
Just kidding. And the band sounds great. So, do you want to tell us a little about some of the guys that you got to play with? And
yeah, I would love to. The Reverend Charles Hodges plays the Hammond, and I think it's fair to say he's the MD. He's kind of, rules the roost a little bit, but he does it so subtly. It took me a while to realize. And you've got Leroy Hodges on bass. We had Archie, who we called Hubby, Archie Turner, on Wurlitzer. So there's two keyboards. And you might think that would kind of get messy, but it's amazing how they work together. Have you listened to the album and just focused on those two? It's incredible what the interplay between the two of them is. It's like they're one mind, And you have Michael Tolles on guitar, lovely guitar player. Who else we got? Steve Potts on drums on that one. And then you got the brass section and the girls. It just, came together lovely.
And were these guys that were did you have a wish list of guys that you wanted to work with when you were sort of conceiving the project?
Well, it was made very easy for us because when Perry went down there and called me from the Royal Studios and said, guess where I am? I'm in the Royal Studios. And it's all still up and running the way it was. And he had spoken to Boo Boo Mitchell, who runs the studio down there now. His father's Willie Mitchell, and he said that Boo. I said, you asked him about musicians, and he said, trust me. So we did. And he got all the best musicians, and they just fit together so smoothly.
It's awesome when a plan comes together. We're going to play some more from the Royal Sessions in a bit, also some Jeff Beck. But I want to get on a Hendrix track you picked out. This is The Wind Cries Mary. I noticed a lot of great guitarists on this list. You just you've worked with so many great guitarists, Jimmy Page and Brian May and people like that. Are you just kind of attracted to great players?
I suppose so. Actually, it's unconscious. I've got this list of songs, but I didn't realize it was guitar heavy. But I suppose, maybe I am. I like a good guitar player.
Well, and it doesn't get any better than Hendrix. There's so many good Hendrix songs. It's really, when you're just picking out one or two, it's hard. It's The Wind Cries Mary. It's Paul Rodgers Takeover.
Nice.
Paul Rodgers. That was Paul Rodgers on the Paul Rodgers Takeover with the Otis Redding tune, I've Been Loving You Too Long to Stop Now.
Yeah, we had a ball recording that one. Remember that, Perry?
Oh, yeah, well, we did it, and everybody got in there. We just played, started from the first note, and it took off like a journey.
It did. We just sort of launched ourselves into the deep. And actually, what we said was, let's just try one, see how it feels. And at the end of it, everyone just went...
So all of that is one take, everyone in the same room.
Everyone just laying it down.
Wow.
These guys are so good. The subtleties, the bass, Leroy on the bass. Lovely.
Is there a point when you're doing it and you're 3-4 minutes in and you kind of feeling like this is the take, where they're sort of like, oh, I can't mess this up now because we've almost got it?
I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, you're thinking that a lot of the time. Actually, I don't want to be the one to blow it, right? You want to keep it together. But I mean, I think by the time we got to the end of this take, I thought, you know what? I think this is gonna be good. And we just sort of breathed a big sigh of relief. Everyone leaned back and went, wow, let's go check that one out, because it was so emotional. Everyone just put everything they had into it. And we went and listened, and everyone said, right, we're not doing that again. That's going to be it.
That's really beautiful. Those moments where you kind of everything comes together and you sort of feel everyone locked in on the same page, and it's just like there's a magic that you just can't really replace in that
absolutely,
sort of situation.
Man. That's dead on. That's right.
So the album is called the Royal Sessions, and am I understanding that the proceeds of this are going to a Stax charity, right? Tell me about the Stax Music Academy.
Well, what Perry and I decided we would. Do you want to tell the story, Perry?
I could, if
you
like.
Go ahead.
This is Perry Margolef, who produced the album. I don't know if we gave you a formal introduction on your way in.
We were spending our time in Memphis and getting to enjoy so much from these amazing musicians and from the experience, and we felt like we really wanted to give something back to Memphis, to leave something behind, not to just take something away with us.
Well, this music has given us so much. We felt, didn't we? We were driving in from our nice posh hotel into this area, and it was a fairly derelict area. It was economically challenged. There's lots of derelict areas and rubbish piled up and shops abandoned and houses and all this. And right in the middle is this beautiful studio, keeping the light burning, And we said, wow. Well, you said to me, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I just thought that we should do something to help this continue into the future. And the best way to do that is the children, of course, because kids are our future. And Memphis has this incredible Stax Academy, Music Academy, which is part of the Stax Foundation and the Soulsville Museum. And Paul and I took a visit there, and the work they're doing and the education, it's life-altering for all the kids there to be able to learn a sense of community, the appreciation of music, their history. And so we just thought if we give it back to them, it would just be wonderful.
Yeah, and we just went, that freed us up then. We could just say, okay, let's just enjoy making this album. And we did.
Is there a point where you're making this record and you're working with all these great musicians and playing this music that you grew up on, that you sort of go back to your youth and you're over across the pond sort of dreaming about these records, thinking how do I end up here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long way from Middlesbrough to Memphis. It really is, and it's like 40 years or something like that, and a lot of bands and a lot of music. And I was a little, slightly intimidated to go into it, because I hold this music in such reverential awe. It's something I grew up with. And so but everybody was so nice. I mean, they made it so easy for me. It was wonderful, you know.
It's kind of amazing how there's this sort of great thing, between the two countries. That so many of these great British artists grew up, in love with American blues, whether it be you or the Stones or Led Zeppelin or the Beatles. They were all into really roots American music, and then they come out with these great records, and then American kids get really into English music.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's something that sort of seems exotic about a faraway land with these people making these noises, but I do like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I do. It seems to ping pong back across. We pick up on something, and then it's changed into something else, and we bring it back, and then the same thing happens, and it's really it's reciprocal kind of inspiration between the two countries. It's great.
Yeah, I think that dynamic kind of still exists today, which is great.
Yeah.
We're going to play an English guy who likes some blues. Now, ordinarily around this time, I do a thing called Raiders of the KLOS Vault, where we literally go back into the big vault of KLOS records and pull something out.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did when I heard you wanted to play the song. I ran back there, I grabbed this. I'm like, man, I should have picked this one out.
Well, sorry, I'm interrupting you. But
no, go for it. It's your show.
If it's a record, I think you're looking at this predates Led Zeppelin, Free. So it's amazing when you listen to it. This is you're going to say who it is, right?
Well, hopefully I got it right. Jeff Beck, right?
Yeah, with Rod Stewart and
Ronnie Wood
and Mickey Waller on drums. I saw them actually at the Marquee playing, and they were just amazing band. But remember, this is before Zeppelin and before Free, before so many bands. They really had it down. It's a shame they didn't do more like this.
There you go. So technically, this is the Jeff Beck group with Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Rock My Plimsoll. Oh, there you go.
Mercy.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Mercy, mercy.
It's 95.5 KLOS, the Paul Rodgers Takeover. That is the Jeff Beck group with Rod Stewart, Rock My Plimsoll. So you got Jeff Beck, you got Ronnie Wood, you got Rod Stewart. And you know what I love about that? Like, those guys have all been on some really great but polished kind of records. Like, that was just really raw.
That was rocking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I saw them at the Marquee, and they were just ripping it up. Great days.
Oh, man. Good times. All right, so you've got a new Facebook page right now. Is this really you on the Facebook page, Paul?
Yes, it is. I've entered the Facebook age, and it's called, what's it called?
It's called Paul Rodgers Official.
Oh, official.
Oh, yeah, it's good. You got to have the official because, people go into Paul Rodgers and Imposter's pages and stuff like that. You don't want any of that.
Well, it's a real thing, so we're trying to keep it up to date. Well, we are keeping totally up to date.
Something from today.
We'll post something from today.
Oh, perfect. So there you go. So I know a lot of people have been calling in. If you want to get a chance to talk to Paul or let him know what you think of the new record, there you go. Paul Rodgers Official on Facebook. You can search it out now and like it and do all that stuff that you do. I'm really bad at Facebook.
Are you? Yeah.
I should be better.
Yeah. I'm on a learning curve, I have to say. But so far, so good.
That's right. We're all making it in the world okay, right?
Yeah.
Either way. All right, so we're gonna play one more. We're gonna play one more from your new album. This song, doing well at adult contemporary radio. Have you gone into any of those kind of stations yet? That'll be a fun
Well,
thing for you.
it's a first for me, adult contemporary. It's great, fantastic.
And it's called I Can't Stand the Rain. You want to tell us a little bit about why you decided you wanted to do this?
Well, yeah, it was the theme for the album was Stax music, so everything else on the album was released on Stax at some point in its history. But I Can't Stand the Rain was recorded by Ann Peebles, and the reason we did it was, and it was on a different label. So I was walking from the control room into the studio, and I noticed these pile of 24-track masters stacked up, and written in Sharpie on the side of one of the boxes, it said, Ann Peebles, I Can't Stand the Rain. And I stopped suddenly, and everybody bumped into me behind me. And I said, did she? He said, yeah, they recorded. She recorded that here, and we're the guys that played on it. I said, man, we got to do that song.
Oh, man. So many great happy accidents. So many great happy accidents. Hey, Paul Rodgers, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, Derek.
It's a little embarrassing for me when you come in and do my job better than I do it. But we love having you. And so anytime you want to drop by, and Perry and Cynthia, thank you guys for
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
Great, man.
As well.
Cheers.
So I Can't Stand the Rain. Paul Rodgers, take over, everybody, at KLOS.